Good morning, class. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I have told you that we will be starting with the presentation straight away today. Okay, and we will continue with it. As for the last topic, which is left to be discussed, which is proposal framing, that I'll do next week. Okay, so today and tomorrow we will finish as many presentations as possible. Okay. So I hope all of you are present according to the roll number. So shall we start? Are you all ready?
Yes, ma'am. We are ready.
Okay. So the first person is Kailasham.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah. You have to keep your video on when you speak. Okay.
Well, is this fine?
Yeah. Okay, Kailasham, just one second. For all of you, as I've said, that you have to keep your video on while you speak,
मैम
and you
इंटरनेट थोड़ा सा मैम स्लो आ रहा है
wait. I'll talk to
मैम
you when your turn comes. Wait.
थैंक यू
Okay, and you will have to speak for a minimum of 3 minutes and maximum 5 minutes. And the topic of is of your choice. Okay. Now let's start. Kailasham, start.
Yes, ma'am. Have you ever been enthralled by the sheer brilliance of storytelling in a movie or a show? Because I certainly have. I, Kailasam Sai Suchishat, have been in such a state and would like to present to you some basic points regarding the art of storytelling which professional writers use to enhance their stories. After much research, most of storytelling boils into four major points. The first point being consistency. Consistency gives a sense of realism, which basically means if you make a rule in your story, you need to stick to it. For example, let's take a typical movie in which a hero punches the bad guy, and the bad guy flies across the road, breaks through three walls, ricochets across a table, and then lands in a pile of rubble. This shows how much power the hero has. But then later in the story, it is shown that he is being held back by three other people, and the villain walks in and gives his cliched speech. That doesn't make sense because it breaks the realism. Since the hero is already so strong, why is he struggling against those people? This is the sense of logical consistency in the stories. Once the author makes a rule, he needs to stick to it. The second point is regarding emotional attachment. You see, people relate more to the characters than to the world that the characters are in. Once the characters are relatable to the people, they will fall in love with the story and soon the world that you have built. Now, how to make people like your characters? And that is by making the characters human. How do you make a characters human? That is by introducing a flaw. The character must have a flaw within themselves because no human is perfect. We all know that, and we tend to focus on the mistakes of others. This clearly shows that when a character has a certain flaw or the character does a certain mistake, it's more interesting to see how they overcome that mistake or face the consequences of that mistake. The third point is regarding raising the stakes of the story. And this is used by the writers to build the tension. Let's take an example of a sports drama in which the main character loves cricket, but his parents don't support it. So if the main character loses, then he won't be able to play cricket anymore. One great example of raising the stakes in such an environment is the movie Lagan. I'm pretty sure all of us have watched it. If they lose, they need to pay taxes, heavy taxes. But if they win, they are exempted from taxes for 3 years. With this, the stakes are raised to skyscraper levels. And to raise the tension even more, the author made the villains or the British in the story use unfair means to gain advantage over the Indians. But the final point regarding storytelling is based on extrapolation. And extrapolation has got to do with immersing the viewers in the world that you have built. It's basically about using an in-world artifact or an in-world idea to a different purpose than it's originally intended for. Let's take example of the famous Marvel's Doctor Strange. We know that the portal that he creates is capable of cutting through matter, basically a human hands or head or body. It's capable of cutting through all of it. But then later in Infinity War, when they're pulling the gauntlet out of Thanos, then why doesn't Doctor Strange use the portal to cut off his arm? This is the sense of extrapolation that the writers need to instill the sense of immersion into the story. Because I certainly have used vacuum cleaner for purposes other than cleaning, and I'm pretty sure we all have done things like that. And extrapolation, in general terms, is jugaad. And once we introduce that into the story, the characters are immersed. They'll realize, oh, this can be used in that way. I didn't realize this spell could be used to defeat this character. This is what is going to make the readers more invested into your story. With these, I have covered most of the concepts that professional story writers use, and I would like to conclude my speech here. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Kailasan. Next is Sharad. Sharad, are you there? Sharad, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I am present there.
Okay, start then.
Uh, uh, it, it, it is very easy to acquire bad habits, such as eating too much and uh, sleeping as the late and tends to become very harmful when done too often and too smoking. And the more we do a thing, the more we tend to like doing it a- and if we do not continue to do it, we feel unhappy. Uh, this is uh, this is called the force of the habit. And the force of habit should be fought against a thing which may be very good when only done from time to time, tend to become very harmful when done too often and too much. This applies even to such good thing as work or rest. Some people form a bad habit to working too much, and others of idling too much. The wise man always remembers that this is true about himself and check any bad habits. He says to himself I am now become idle, or I like too many sweets, or I smoke too much, and then I will get myself out of this bad habit at once. One of the most widely spread of the bad habits is the use of tobacco. The tobacco is now smoked or chewed by men, often by women, and even by children. The almost the almost all over the world, it is brought into Europe from America by Sir Walter Raleigh 4 centuries ago, and has then spread everywhere. Uh, I, I, I very much doubt whether there is any good in the habit, even when tobacco is not used to excess. Mm, excess and it is extremely difficult to get rid of tobacco once it has been formed. Um, millions millions of the people are beginning to do without it entirely. And once the United States of America has passed law which forbids its manufacture itself through the length and breadth of their vast country. In India, it is not required by the people at all, and should be avoided by them together. The regular use of alcohol, even in small quantity, tends to cause mischief and many ways of various organs of the body. It affects the liver, it weakens mental power and lessens the general energy of the body. And thank you, ma'am, to opportunity to get chance to me.
Okay, thank you, Sharad. Good effort, I would say. Keep practicing, okay? Good
Yes,
effort.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Debojyoti, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, start. Start.
Hi, everyone. I am Debajyoti Banerjee. I am a first year undergraduate student of IIEST Shibpur, and my topic is whether innovation in technology is a ban or a boon. So, necessity is the mother of invention. If you think about the past, there were no such technological development, but at present, we are dwelling in the scientific era. Technology is a word which cannot be explained in one word, but it has been making our life a more convenient one. Drastic technological inventions have taken place in this era, and thus we have been gifted with enormous technologies. Technology is basically the practical application of science. Science is referred to as knowledge or ideas. These ideas, along with creativity, results in technological inventions. It has benefited in every sectors like education, agriculture, medicine, defense, etc. We have reached great heights through technology. Today, our nation has been equipped with enormous defense system. We have reached the moon and made great development in space technology. It has helped us in reducing time, effort, and energy because of the invention of tools and machinery. The invention of computer is a miracle for the entire mankind. Thus, it can be stated that technology is a blessing for the entire mankind. But as a matter of fact, it says excess of anything is poison. The same is applicable in case of technology. The most important thing that we should keep in our mind that technology should not dominate our life. If we become the slave of technology, it will completely ruin our life. The birth of artificial intelligence is advanced technology. This will gradually deplete the role of humans in future. The excess use of technology results in environmental degradation, which is not a positive sign. Moreover, the negative use of technology can cause destruction. Thus, I want to conclude that technology should be used only when it is required. Excess usage can cause destruction uh, and can cause destruction to both humans and nature and the environment. The peaceful existence of human is not possible if the environment is disturbed. Thank you everyone for your patience.
Thank you, Debojyoti.
Thank you.
Ipshita,
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everybody. Myself, Pipshita Bashak, and my topic is luck important factor in determining success? So let us start with what does luck mean? Luck means they say that it means when preparation meets opportunity. Though luck is an important factor, but there are other determining factors like hard work, talent, determination. So but if you spend your whole life dreaming of winning a lottery and do not do something meaningful in your life, then you are just wasting your life. And according to me, there is no alternative of hard work, and there is nothing which can beat hard work. If one works hard enough and and takes right decision at the right time, then luck will follow you. If you sit at home waiting for luck or magic to happen, then then you will never be successful. We cannot depend on luck or other people for success. We can only control what is in our hand and work hard. Let us take some examples of very famous successful people. For example, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was born so poor that he used to work as a newspaper boy. And another great example is Albert Einstein, who was born with dyslexia. So they were born unlucky, but they overcome every obstacles with hard work and determination. So yeah, hard work is, I think hard work and determination is the most important factor in determining success. And I would like to conclude the speech with an Abraham Lincoln saying that the more I work hard, the luckier I get. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Ipsita. Somoganti, unmute yourself, Somoganti.
A very good morning to all of my respected teachers and fellow batchmates. I am Shomokanti Odhikari from Aerospace and Applied Mechanics Department. I am here today to deliver an extempore speech about medical system of India and its current status. I would like to first of all highlight what is the patient is to doctor ratio in India. That is 840 is to 1 as per the latest publication of different medical journals. Now, a common question will come in our mind that how a student can enter in medical education system. As you all of know that after completing his higher secondary, the student will have to appear in NEET entrance examination, and then after qualifying NEET, the student will get the opportunity to study MBBS. And but the thing is the selection ratio is quite low as compared to the appearing candidates. Next point, after completing MBBS and 1 year internship, they will get a registration from National Medical Commission, and he can do his practice in different OPD, or he can continue his further studies like MD, MS, or DNB in different department. Now, I previously told that why the patient to doctor ratio is too low in India, because all of we know that there are around 40,000 students are selected to appear in NEET and selected to study MBBS, but those who are not appeared, but those who are not got selected to study MBBS in India, they are going to abroad, as we seen in news. These things, and thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Somoganti. Nitin, Nitin, are you there? Nitin, okay. Mohanno,
Yes, ma'am.
Mohanno, yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Start
Mm,
your video,
hello.
Mohanno.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, myself Moharnab Kundu, first year civil engineering
Mohanno, your
department,
video
IIST
is not
Shibpur.
on. Your video is not on. Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. It's
Yes,
coming, ma'am.
can start.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
Today,
now it's visible.
today I want to present something about digitalization and making of self-reliant, strong India. At first, I want to say that India, a country with a population of 135 crore, does have the potential to lead the world. India, a highly developing country, is going to make its research and development for digitalization and for making our country self-reliant in a tremendous speed. Our government is promoting all type of research and innovation ideas in every field of digitalization. Digitalization of market payment system is helping to make the system transparent and more strong. Made in India, digital payment UPIs like Bharat Pay, RuPay is making us strong by helping us not being dependent on the foreign counterparts like Visa. Digital revolution in banking system, railways and other government system making it more efficient and is more strong than ever. And most importantly, being a sovereign nation and to maintain power balance in our continent, India is highly investing in defenses like in DRDO, Atomic Research Organization like BARC, and Space Research Organization in ISRO. Recently, we have seen that India have made its own indigenous aircraft carrier, Vikrant. India is also highly, deeply investing in research like projects like AMCA stealth fighter. Currently, the stealth technology is held by few countries in the world. Tejas fighter jets, hypersonic cruise missile like the BrahMos from DRDO, Chandrayaan 2 mission, and the upcoming Jagannathan 2 missions of ISRO. These are the highly prestigious examples. And also research and development in medical field and medicine manufacture is really making our country a big producer of essential medicines, vaccines, medicinal kits. Like recent in COVID times, the production of PPE kit was really very high and making our country a really big producer of that things in the time. And also the COVID vaccines we have made, we also vaccinated our people and imported in foreign countries. At last, I want to conclude that, not but the least, we the young people of India, currently the highest population of young people in the whole world, we should must step forward with our acquired skill to make our country more strong and to make it great again. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mohanno. Nilavo, Nilavo, are you there? No. Shokarsha,
Nilavo is not there. He has left the college.
okay, okay. Shokarsha,
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everyone. Myself, Sokul Suhos from Civil Engineering Department, and today's my topic is cybercrime. Cybercrime is an illegal activity done using computers and the internet. Cybercrimes can cause financial loss, loss of confidential information, or may harm our privacy. Hacking is one of the most common cybercrimes happening today. Hackers gain unauthorized access to a computer system by cracking passwords. Hacking can also be done on a group of systems, website, or an email account. Hackers steal data and cause financial or reputational harm of a person or group. Identity theft is a cybercrime where cybercriminals steal personal data like passwords or bank account details. Cybercriminals use this data to steal money. Many cybercriminals use computer viruses to gain unauthorized access to systems and steal data. A computer virus is a malware loaded into a computer without the knowledge of the user. The unauthorized copying, distribution, or use of software is called software piracy. Cybercriminals distribute pirated software which cause loss to the software company. Cyberbullying is a form of Cyberbullying is a form of online harassment of a person using smartphones or computer. It is also known as cyber harassment or online bullying. Cyberbullying is generally occur on platforms like gaming platform and social media. It involves posting hate comment and sharing negative information about a person. This leads humiliation of the person who is bullied. Phishing. Phishing is a cybercrime where people are contacted through phone, email, or a message by cybercriminals, posing as a person from legitimate institution. These cybercriminals collect personal information like bank account details and passwords and then steal money. Nowadays, we use internet for many day-to-day activities. However, we need to stay alert and avoid happening of cybercrimes. Here are some steps we can take to avoid being a victim of cybercrimes. Avoid use of public Wi-Fi networks. Avoid use of public computers while doing financial transactions. Never share your password with other or anyone. Avoid downloading unknown applications on the mobile. With advancement in information technology, the way cybercriminals commit crime is also changing day by day. We must always stay alert and take necessary precautions to be safe from these crimes. We must immediately report to cybercrime department if we become a victim of cybercrime. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. Uh, Sudipto,
Yes, ma'am.
Start.
My name is Shudipto, and today I'm going to talking about exercise. So exercise is basically any physically and activity we can perform on a repetitive basis for relaxing our body and taking away all the mental stress. It is important to do regular exercise. When we do this on a daily basis, you can become fit physically and mentally. Moreover, not exercising daily can make a person susceptible to a different disease. Thus, just like eating food daily, we must also exercise daily. So, what is the importance of exercise? That is, exercise is the most essential for the proper health and fitness. Moreover, it is essential for every sphere of life. Especially today's youth need to exercise more than ever. It is because the junk food they consume every day can hamper their quality of life. If you are not healthy, you cannot lead a happy life and won't be able to contribute to the expansion of society. Thus, one needs to exercise to beat all the problems. But it is not just about the youth, but also about every member of the society. These days, physical activities take places in colleges more than often. The professionals also call to the campus to organizing the physical exercise. Thus, it is a great opportunity for everyone who wishes to do this. Just like exercise is important for college kids, it's also essential for the office workers. The desk job requires the person to sit at the desk for a long hours without breaks. This gives rise to a very unhealthy lifestyle. They get a limited amount of exercise as they get sit all their day, come back home and sleep. Therefore, it is essential to exercise to adopt a healthy lifestyle that can also prevent any damages disease. Exercise has also lots of benefit in today's world. First of all, it helps maintaining your weight. Moreover, it also helps you reduce weight if you can are overweighted. It is because you burn calories when you exercise. Further, it also helps in developing your muscle. Thus, the rate of your body will increase as which helps burn calories. Moreover, it also helps in improving the oxygen level and blood flow of your body. When you exercise daily, your brain cells will release frequently. This helps in producing cells in the hippocampus. Moreover, it is a part of a brain which helps to learn the control memory. The concentration level in your body will improve, which will ultimately lower the damage of disease like Alzheimer's. In addition, you can also reduce the strain your heart through the exercise. Finally, it controls the blood sugars level of your body and also prevent the daily diabetes. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Sudipta. Shivangshu?
Yes, ma'am.
Shivangshu? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to all. My name is
Your
Sivanshu Gupta,
video.
and my top.
Yeah.
I'm visible.
Yes, you're visible. Start.
Okay. Good morning to all. My name is Sivanshu Gupta, and my topic for today's my topic is Indian education system, and I shall try to do justice to this topic. The education system in India comprises of four levels: pre-primary, primary, secondary, and senior secondary system. All these levels are well structured and developed to systematically introduce students to subject matter, develop their language and skill, and prepare them for higher education. Indian education system gives equal knowledge to
Shivangshu, there is some problem with your audio. Actually, your voice is cracking.
what, ma'am?
Your voice is not very clear.
Ma'am, just a minute.
It's not audible. Unmute yourself. Unmute.
Ma'am, is it okay?
Start. Let me hear. Continue.
Okay, ma'am. I'm starting from. Good morning to all. My name is and my topic for today's my topic is Indian education system, and I shall do try to justice this topic. The education system in India comprises of four levels: pre-primary, primary, secondary, and senior secondary system. All these levels are well structured and developed systematically to introduce students to subject matter, develop their language and skills, and prepare them for higher education. The Indian education system gives equal value to knowledge-based learning as well as co-curricular. Under the system, sports and performing art are given the utmost significance, and all students are encouraged to take part and develop a skill to expertise that will help them in future. The Indian education system focus on practical learning and group activities to provide exposure and teach students the value of teamwork and communication. There are different types of schools in India: public aided private schools, international schools, and national schools. Indian parents also have option for homeschooling their children. The Indian education system focuses on overall development of each student by introducing them to the basic of subject from the start till the secondary level. Once a student clears the senior secondary levels and reaches senior secondary level, that is in 11th and 12th, the student has option of choosing between different types of streams such as science, commerce, humanities, etc. Senior secondary classes truly prepare for students for higher education. There are also some major drawbacks that when it comes to education system in India, the system focus on rote learning rather than encouraging free thinking, flexibility, and interaction. Many schools lack basic facilities like computer labs or even proper furniture, and their teachers are underqualified or underpaid, which is a uh, huge barrier for growth and learning. Thank you for listening.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tariq?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am, and all my friends. Today, I would like to deliver a speech over the topic importance of education. Proper and good education is very important for all of us. It
Tariq,
is the
just one second. Tariq, just one second. Shivanshu, just mute your audio.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, Tariq, continue.
okay, ma'am. So, proper and good education is very important for all of us. It is the process of achieving knowledge, values, skills, belief, and moral habits. Education is very necessary for each and everyone in order to improve knowledge, way of living, as well as social and the economic status throughout the life. It is not only the race to go ahead in the school or the college curriculum. The real meaning of education is physical, social, and mental health development of personality and improvement of their skill level. The purpose of education is very wide, and that makes a person a good person. Good education will always increase our confidence level, and it helps us to determine what is right and what is wrong for us. Education makes us the right thinker and the right decision maker. In this competitive world, proper and the good education is very important for all of us. In our society, a lot of social issues are happening like inequality, corruption, terrorism, etc. It's all because of lack of proper education. Good education help us to emerge from poverty problems as well as being self-reliant in the society. The true and the main purpose of the education should be to help other needy and the poor people of the society to get them out of their weakness and superstitions. So today we know that anyone can gain knowledge at any time. There is no age barrier for gaining knowledge. It is a continuous process which starts when we take birth and ends when we die. Sometimes everyone won't get a good chance for getting education due to lack of money, inappropriate surroundings, etc. We should feel blessed to be educated and helps other as much as possible to get educated. Education encourages a woman empowerment, promote peace in society, economic growth, creating awareness about fundamental rights, etc. The aim of education should not only be to achieve knowledge of different subjects, however, it should be to make us smart enough to live life, how to behave to others, and how to handle each and every situations. Education is a ray of light in the darkness. It will certainly help us to lead a good life. A country cannot be developed without proper education of its citizens. Therefore, education is very essential for all of us and to lead a better and happy life. And with this, I will, with a small quote of Nelson Mandela, that education is a weapon that can help us to change the world. I would like to conclude here. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Tari. Abhishek?
Hello, ma'am. My name is Abhishek Anand. I am from Civil Engineering Department. I am here to deliver a speech on the topic role of women in society and sector. Women are equally important in society as men are. They are the backbone for a progressing nation. Half of the population country constitutes women, and they deserve equal importance and rights in society. From keeping in a home safe and clean to portraying excellent outcomes in the workplace, a woman can do it all. Their capabilities must not be underestimated based on their gender. They should be given equal opportunity to display their talents. It is essential for us to know the status of women in our society. Women are primary caretakers of children and the elders. Women take the lead in helping the family adjust to new realities and challenges. Earlier, women were only associated with taking care of husband and babies, but nowadays they are engaging in work field to explore their inner talents and also to become independent and yearn for themselves. Nowadays, women are working with men in every field, like healthcare sector. This is one of the best industries for women workers. There is no bias on gender equality in this sector. At present, female present in this sector is 30% in Indian healthcare society. The prevailing COVID-19 pandemic has witnessed a large number of women workers participating as a frontline fighters. In technology sector, when it comes to hiring a woman in the technology sector, approximately 30% of the women in the world are working in the sector. A woman have a leadership quality. Nowadays, women are increasing in working technology sector. Also, most of the tech company promote women employment. In agriculture sector, agriculture and rural development have witnessed a rapid growth of women employment at both the national and international level. Women's representation is quite high in tea plantation. In Assam tea, 60% of women are working. In education sector, educated women not only trained to promote education of their girl children, but also can provide better guidance to all children. Education is a key factor for a girl's empowerment, prosperity, development, and welfare. Many women are working in NGO to support women education in India. When women participation in entrepreneurship rules and customer facing service job has been increased. Nowadays, Indian military also hired a woman to establish a women empowerment in India. Thank you, ma'am, for giving this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Abhishek. Manohar?
Good morning, ma'am, and my fellow batchmates. I would like to tell something about the importance of childhood in one's life. Childhood is the best part of one's life, and it is the most beautiful and exciting, and as well as the crucial part of one's life. And we will live with no stress and any uh, pressure of working about something or reading, education. We will play a lot of games and enjoy our life. And it is the time where we develop both mentally and physically. And a person to become a well-mannered, childhood is the base. And in this time, we start to distinguish between what good things and what are bad things. And um, coming to the people who influence our childhood are obviously our parents and our teachers and our friends. And parents should teach their child about morals, ethics, and human values. And uh, teachers should inculcate many qualities in students, like hardworking and being honesty and polite to people, and to behave in a well mannered, and uh, to develop a sportsmanship, even if we win or lose. Uh, uh, that's it. I want to conclude this. This is the importance of childhood in one's life. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Rajdeep?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajdeep Paul. I am from first year civil engineering department, and my topic is how your mind works. You have a mind, and you should learn how to use it. There are two levels of your mind, the conscious and the subconscious. You think with your conscious mind, and whatever you habitually think sinks down into your subconscious mind, which creates according to the nature of your thoughts. If you think good, good will follow. If you think evil, evil will follow. This is the way your mind works. The main point to remember is this: once the subconscious mind accepts an idea, it begins to execute it. It is an interesting, subtle truth that the law of subconscious mind works for good and bad ideas alike. This law, when applied in a negative way, is the cause of failure, frustration, and unhappiness. However, when applied in a positive way, is the cause of perfect health, success, and prosperity. Peace of mind and healthy body are inevitable when you begin to think and feel in the right way. Whatever you claim mentally and feel as true, your subconscious mind will accept and bring forth into your experience. The only thing necessary for you to do is to get your subconscious mind to accept your idea, and the law of your own subconscious mind will bring forth the health, peace, or the prosperity you desire. You give the command or decree, and your subconscious will faithfully reproduce the idea impressed upon it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Um, Krishna. Krishna? Surya Teja?
Ma'am,
Yes.
good afternoon to one and all. This is V. Surteja from Civil Engineering Department. I'm here to speak some few words about success. If you ask anyone what do you want success in their life, the most common answer we get is why not? It's what I deserve. And then we encounter some questions like what is success and how we define it. For some people, success is achieving what they want, what they dream, and for some people, success is the achievement of what they intend. So, actually, what is success? If I set a goal of climbing the highest mountain in the world, first we'll prepare and do a lot of hard work, and then when we finally climb the mountain, we will cherish the moment and we would be happy. And then we look around the mountain, look around and see if there is even a higher mountain and set a new goal of climbing the higher mountain. So what is um, we will find difficulties while climbing the mountain. Ma'am, once.
Okay, try. Continue. Start from where you ended.
Ma'am, next time I'll speak, ma'am. 1 minute back.
Next time.
Not next time, ma'am. Some disturbance is there. Someone came.
Okay, fine. I'll come back to you. Priyanshu,
Yes, ma'am. Am I visual?
no.
No. Ma'am, I'm just coming after 5 seconds, ma'am. I'm left this meeting and then I'm rejoining it.
Okay.
I think there is some net problem.
Okay, Nitin, are you present?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you start. Priyanshu, I'll get back to you after Nitin. Okay? Yes, Nitin?
I'm going to talk about war, ma'am.
Yeah, start. You're visible. Start.
In civilized countries, when two individuals have a dispute that they cannot settle among themselves, they go before the judge, who by himself decision bring the matter to a peaceful settlement. It might be expected that a similar course would be followed by civilized nations in international quarrels, and some progress has been made in this direction of late years. By employment of arbitration to settle disputes between two nations, the disagreement between the United States and England about the damage done to American shipping by the Alabama, which threatened to lead the war, was settled in 1872 by the Geneva Arbitration. And the good example then set has been followed on several occasions since that day. But nevertheless, war is still generally regarded as the only ultimate way of settling national disputes. The armies of great nations are larger than they ever were before in the history of the world, and there seems little prospect of the establishment of the reign of universal peace. Although the principle that might is right no longer prevails in the relations between individuals, it is still considered natural to appeal to it. When one nation quarrels with another, war remains as a tremendous relic of barbarism in the midst of modern civilization. And the progress of modern science is every year leading to the discovery of more powerful instruments for the destruction of human life and property. No doubt, the increase of humanity and of sympathy that has accompanied the advance of civilization has done something to mitigate the horrors of war. The ancient Assyrians used to impale their captives. The Greeks and Romans made slaves of their conquered enemies. In the reign of Edward I, Sir William Wallace, the brave champion of Scottish independence, was hung, drawn, and quartered by his English conquerors. His head was fixed on London Bridge, and his four quarters were sent to Newcastle Berwick. When the Black Prince, who was regarded as the flower of chivalry, captured the French tower of Limoges, he vented his fury on the tower by allowing 3,000 of its inhabitants, men, women, and children, to be massacred by his troops. Such terrible cruelty as this would be now impossible in the warfare of civilized nations. Attempts have been made of late years, not without success, to diminish the honors of war by international agreement. It is now an accepted principle in European warfare that private property to be respected and the wounded soldiers and the doctors who attend upon them are not to be fired upon. But in spite of all such agreements, war as long as it exists must produce countless evils. Even if the regular armies in the field abstain from pillage, anarchy is sure to prevail in the neighborhood of their operations. The criminal classes feel relieved from all restraint, and bands of plunder spread ruin far and wide. War always paralyzes the industry of a country by calling away able-bodied men from the field and the factory. Powerful artillery destroys in a few hours buildings that have taken many years to erect. In every war, a large number of families are reduced to distribution by destruction of their property or by the loss of those on whom they depended for support. In some Western countries at the present day, universal conscription prevails, and the younger members of every family are compelled by law to serve the army. Under such circumstances, war spreads far wider desolation than when it waged by a limited number of men who had voluntarily adopted the profession of arms. But just the circumstance which increases the extent of the surviving inflicted war
may tend to prevent nations from hastily appealing to arms, and so promote the cause of peace, so no nation to enter upon war with a light heart, when every man capable of bearing arms is compelled to take his place in the ranks and risk his own life on the battlefield. The knowledge of this must surely do much to extinguish the national order for warlike glory, which has been the cause of so much bloodshed in the past. That's it, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Nitin. Uh, Yanshu,
Hello,
are you ready now?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes. Okay.
Should I continue?
Yeah, yeah. Start.
Okay. So, a cheerful good morning to one and all present out here. Myself, Priyanshu Kumar, and I am from the Department of Civil Engineering, and my topic is the impact of COVID on middle class people. So, in India, we generally talk of the super rich peoples or the poor people. Definitely, we should be talking of the poor people, but we always miss or we always doesn't talk of the middle class people. Now, the question arises: does it really necessary to talk of the middle class people? So the answer is yes, because the 45 to 48% of the Indian population are actually the middle class people, and they are actually the backbone of the Indian economy because these are the people who go outside and spends money on the huge Indian market, and it increases the GDP of our country. So it is necessary to talk of the middle class people. Now I am sharing a report that I had read in an article that in 2020 it was done like 3.28 crores of the middle class people was pushed down to the poor class bracket, from the middle class bracket to poor class bracket. So it's a matter of really a great concern. So a matter of great concern that and what was the reason behind it, that most of the middle class people had lost their jobs, they shut down their businesses, and there were many children who lost both their parents, and there were many middle class families who lost their breadwinners. So there were the middle class people had faced a lot of problems including this pandemic period. So so the concerned authorities, I mean the government, should do some initiatives, should bring out some initiatives or measures with proper strategies so that the middle class people can better their lifestyle and should not compromise with their lifestyle. Now, before ending my speech, I want to specify a few points that what the concerned authorities should do regarding this issue. The first point that they should start a proper initiative for the orphan children, so that they can also do their further studies and can succeed in his or her life. Secondly, a pension scheme should be introduced for those families who just lost their breadwinners, because since they had lost their breadwinners, so there is no source of income in their families. So a pension scheme should be introduced. And next point is that the the loans and the EMIs, there should be a rebate for a specific period of time, especially for the middle class people who just lost their jobs and shut down their businesses, because there is no source of income for
ওইরকম করে
those
দেখলে
middle
না,
class
ওইরকম
people.
করে দেখলে কোনো দিন বুঝতে
So
পারবে না। ওরকম করে
so
দেখো না,
there
এই যে এই ব্লু দাগটা দেখাচ্ছে এগুলো
so
না,
there
এই
should
যে
be a
নীল
rebate
দাগটা
on
দেখাচ্ছে
the
এটা
so
হচ্ছে
there
তোমার
should be a
লোকেশন, এটা দেখে দেখে তোমাকে চলতে হবে, কিন্তু এমনি অমনি চলে যাও না, এই যে নীল দাগটা হচ্ছে তোমার।
so there should be a rebate on the loans and the
হুম,
EMIs.
ও পয়েন্টার আগেই দেখাবে, নীল দাগ, নীল দাগ দিয়ে তোমাকে যেতে হবে।
7 Please mute your audio.
হুম, এটা পুরো বর্ধমানে যাচ্ছে না? নীল দাগটা পুরোটা পুরোটা বর্ধমানে যাচ্ছে, হ্যাঁ। তাহলে আমাকে গাড়িটা ঘোরাতে হবে, তাই তো? গাড়িটা এদিক দিয়ে বেরিয়েও
Chandri.
যাওয়া যাবে।
Chandri.
Chandril,
তারপর আমরা যদি
Chandril,
না দেখাই তখন,
switch off your mic.
সরি ম্যাম।
Yeah, please mute yourself. Priyanshu, continue.
Yeah, so I was discussing the last point that there should be a rebate on the EMIs and the loans, especially for the middle class people who just lost their jobs and shut down their businesses because there is no source of income for those families. So there should be a rebate on loans and EMIs. So yeah, these are some points that I wanted to specify in this my short speech. And with this, I conclude my speech. Thank you and have a fantastic day. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Surya Teja, are you there? Are you ready now?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm Krishna Kunal. There was some technical issue, so I could not deliver them. Can I deliver it?
What is your roll number?
CV 086.
TV
086.
086. Okay. Start. Switch on your camera.
Hi everyone, I'm Krishna Kunal from Civil Engineering Department. And today I'm gonna talk about taboos in India. So we all know that India is a fast-growing country with a new way of thinking. However, every time I hear that India is developing, one thing that pops up in my head is how can India possibly grow when there are so many ideas, so many beliefs that are trying to pull it back down. We are yet to fight so many taboos and injustice that are taking us way behind of becoming the superpower we intend to be. These taboos apply to both men and women of India. It is often said in talking to people, what is said is important, but what is not said may be equally revealing. In some ways, the same applies to culture. Being rooted and following your culture is one thing, but twisting the culture tail to make them sound totally different according to your own whims and fancies is way beyond ethical. I think we all, the youth, the other generation, need to come together to fight the biggest force of our society, that is the taboos. Although the list is quite long, I have sorted some common taboos which according to me are among top tier taboos. So let's have some brief introduction about them. First and foremost, I want to talk about women and their way of living. Indian society has always this misogynistic undertone, as many offensive words in India are derogatory towards girls and women. We have seen many times women being advised to dress in certain manner. Though there should be a boundary for nudity, still as long as the dress isn't much revealing, the choice of dressing should remain with the individual herself. I come from Bihar, and let me tell you, there are lots of people who believe that a woman is solely responsible for the gender of her kids. They don't even try to get the logic behind the birth of a child. Another thing we have seen that women are advised, or rather, I should, they are being forced to not even think of divorce. They say that how will she survive and is her life without any man? How she can earn a livelihood? How she can take care of kids, etc., etc. But still, putting these stereotypes to rest, we have seen many women who have broken these norms and made a fabulous way of living. Another thing I want to talk about is interreligion marriage. One shouldn't be married outside of one's religion. It is a very common statement we get to hear across the nation. Many people break the logic behind that it will only add the population to another religion, which I think is ridiculous. Also, certain people have a bias about certain religion. We exactly don't know what's wrong, but we have been hearing it for ages. We tend to follow it blindly. This needs to be changed. Another thing I want to talk about is homosexuality. Another common ideology that goes here is homosexuality is queer. It's unnatural, it defies the laws of nature, and people who are homosexual are under some bad influence. The society sees them through bad eyes, and I think most of us would admit that mostly people in the nation consider them impure. Though there have been many campaigns across the nation in support of LGBTQ, but still our country is way behind to accept this as a culture. Another thing I want to talk about is sex education. Speaking about sex is bad, it shouldn't be discussed. According to the mentality of some so-called people, so-called what fanatics, religious fanatics of our country, people also shy away from asking for birth pills or condoms because going and asking for such thing means that you are indulged in sexual activity and people will start shaming you because you have been indulged in sexual activities. This is also pathetic, I think. The last thing I want to talk about is menstruation. One topic that is being accepted, being normal, is menstruation, thanks to all those ads and campaigns. But still, it's far away from a complete acceptance in our society. We do have people
who believe this as some god's curse. A girl on her periods is thought to be impure and thus not allowed to pray and do certain activities. When tried to get teach, the people seem not to be interested in being taught about menstruation. Further on, we can also consider love marriages, career expectations, casteism, biasness on income gap, etc. But since there is limited time, we all we all do have some brief introduction about this. Let's leave it for some other time. One thing also I must mention in that in eye of this table, unfortunately, we do have certain people who use the so-called anti-taboo measure for their own propaganda and their own benefit, which I am completely against and believe is pathetic. Leaving all those morons behind, let's come back. See, the thing is, whatever we hate talking about is natural, normal human thing, but which is a normal human thing which people should probably know more about so that they can start accepting all these things instead of shying away from it. One of the most ignored truths here in India is that we should know that nobody gets to decide the laws of nature. Even the nature doesn't at times. Then who are we to give it a verdict? Live and let others live. It's as simple as that. As long as you get to choose your way of living, you shouldn't have a problem with whatever others are doing. Taboo are nothing but crippling impediment of our society. They should be uprooted and thrown away. So at last, I hope, pray, and will try my best along with my fellow batchmen to fight against these together and make our country free of these shackles of so sensible beliefs. So that's from my side. Thank you guys for your patience.
Okay, thank you. Tomika,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, will I? Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am, and my dear batchmates. Today, I, Swamika Sinha, studying in IIST Shivpur Civil Department, want to speak on the topic Women Empowerment and Fight for Equal Rights. For centuries, women have shown their indomitable spirits in various arenas. The terms like feminism, gender equality are very common topics nowadays. So in this modern period, we are fighting for equal rights and crushing male-dominated society. In the medieval period, women were not even allowed to go outside their house. They lived in male-dominated societies, but this was not the condition in ancient period. In ancient period, girls and boys were equally educated. We get to hear many names of women philosophers. One of them, Gargi Vachak Navi. She was a sage and philosopher. She became highly knowledgeable in the Vedas and Upanishads in Vedic times, and even held intellectual debates with other philosophers. There were many other women philosophers along with her. Even in our Indian freedom struggle, we find many women who have fought valiantly, valorously against the oppressive British government. Even in Indian National Army, women took arms and fought against the oppressive British government in the independence movement. 8th March is observed as International Working Women's Day. On this day in 1917 in Russia, women marched for bread and peace. They marched for equal pay, 8 hours work schedule. According to me, rather than giving reservations to women, we should get equal opportunity to compete with men. By reservations, I consider that the men are positioned, men get the authoritarian position. Now women are going to space, fighting at the borders, excelling in academics, research, in defense, and even they are managing households too. So women empowerment is a need of the hour because it is high time we value and credit the women for their contribution and help them grow. The most crucial form being educational empowerment, because education is truly a leveler and it brings on equal footing. When one is educated, it does not matter whether they are men or women as long as they get the jobs done. And that is why education should not be denied to girls, which is still an unfortunate truth. In many rural areas, girls are not allowed to go to school. There should not be set a notion that girls cannot play a certain sport like basketball because it is a men's game, which is very regressive and wrong in nowadays. There are so many women who are reduced to just being fit to work in the kitchen and not outside homes. These gender defined roles are so narrow minded and do not even comply with the modern times where women are actually doing equally and even better than men at some places. Nowadays, even there is a pay gap because of gender, and this is very problematic and in no way empowering anyone, especially the women of the society. We have to be broad minded and accept women as our equals and not someone subversive. When women are treated with respect and equality and paid deservedly, they lift up economies. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Tomika. Rahul?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning, respected ma'am and my dear friends. Today I am here to say something about cricket. Cricket, the most lovable sport in India. Today, 3 out of 5 person want to play cricket for his country. Many people dream to be a cricketer because the reason the reason behind that be- the reason behind that name and fame and money behind it. Indian cricket team, the world's best team at the moment, because the kind of competition in cricket and Indian cricket see many legends like Kapil Dev, Sunil Gavaskar, MS Dhoni, Sachin Tendulkar, but my favorite cricketer is MS Dhoni because he is cool and calm, and the kind of personality he doesn't see.
What happened?
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, I'll get back to you after some time.
Okay.
Amit? Amit? Are you there? Rajarshi? Rajarshi? Not there. Subrajyoti?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Subrati Mohanto and I'm from Civil Department. Well, my topic for today is something that is being discussed in internet for last 3 or 4 months. Well, it's not Ukraine versus Russia war or not the Kashmir files. It is safe soil, the safe soil movement. And I will start with a quote: "Fertility of the soil is the future of our civilization." What is soil? The soil is the basis of all. The soil, all the crops we have ever eaten was grown on this soil. Soil gives us the basis for our homes, for our roads, and all the infrastructures. But most importantly, what soil does, that it gives the important organic contents that a crops need to grow. And how does it do so? Well, the top layer of soil contains millions of microbes. These microbes gives all the nutrition to the plants, and some microbes dig some holes in the top layer through which holds oxygens and nitrogens can reach the roots of that plants. We cannot do this by ourselves. We must need those microbes for to grow our crops. But now what is destroying our soil? To be precise, the, the fact that is destroying our soil is our greed to grow more and more crops in the same land, to make the production rate very high and to meet the demands of the market. The farmers and the industries are using chemical pesticides, insecticides in our soil. Well, it do good for the crops, and it increases the productivity rate for short time. But what it does that it damages our soil. It kills all those microbes, all those tiny little creatures in our topsoil, and this is how our soil is being damaged. Now we often hear save water, do not use plastic bags, the less emissions of carbons, but the safe soil is we less hear about. But the scientific data tells a complete different story. They say that to call soil a soil, the soil must contain minimum of 6% of its organic content. But 62% of Indian agricultural land is now left with 0.5% organic contents. So this is the biggest of all the big problems. Our scientist says that we have left 45 to 60 years to grow crops on it. After that, the whole world will face a huge food shortage. Well, we cannot shift our 8 billion people on Elon Musk Starship to Mars, or nor we have a wormhole to get into another galaxy. So we must save our soil. We must re-alive. We must rethink about our soil. So how to do it? Well, firstly, to decrease the demand of the market. If we grow at least 30% of our vegetable demand in our home, in our terrace, in our garden, what it will do that it will decrease the uh, demand of the market, and demand is the roots that industries and farmers are doing all these pesticides things to our soil. Secondly, soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Well, India is a monsoon country, and as I am from Assam, I know that in the rainy season, what the rain does that it washes away all the top layers of the soil, and with it it washes away all the important microbes and the organic contents that we are talking about. So by planting trees, it it may prevent, and we must plant trees to prevent soil erosion. The UN says that in every 5 seconds we lost about a soccer field size of area due to soil erosion. Thirdly, crop rotation. What is crop rotation? Well, this is a process that instead of growing same crop in same land, we choose some different types of different series of crops that needs different nutritions, and and grow on this on those lands. What it does that it gives that soil to recover, and these crop rotations are healthy for our soils. And fourthly, we must put pressure on our government. Well, we put pressure on our government to build Ram Mandir, to prohibit CAA, to decrease the taxes on fuels. But these topics are something that we say less to our government. We must create an environment, and so a society where politicians are coming
Okay, can you
to.
please wind up? You have already exceeded the time limit.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Subhashi?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm going to talk about the awful uses of AI by the government and other companies that we regularly come around. So there are several awful uses of AI. The first of all, which being misleading platforms and scam. There are many misleading robots such as Sophia, which are used to falsely represent the current state of AI and to actively deceive the public into believing the current AI has human-like intelligence or is very close to it. This is especially harmful as it appeared on the world's leading forum for international security policy. By giving the false impression where AI is today, it helps defense contractors from pushing those military AI technologies to sell their idea. Another such example is Jazz, an AI developed for terrible foundation which claims that the medical doctor it produced better reports than the medical doctor. The technology generated large number of attention in New Zealand, but turned out to be a scam. Other such awful uses include surveillance. For example, a facial recognition system, Anyvision, earlier funded by Microsoft, has become infamous for its use by Israeli government to survey and track and identify those living under military occupation and the Palestinians. Mm. Others, and there is another example of Uber, which uses its Gauss view that lets Uber employees see all the security Ubers in the city and tag Uber users who have flagged cars, including names. The data collected by Uber was used by its research to analyze private intent, such as meeting up with partners. Um, there are many other information and fake news which are being propagated through the fake AI through the AIs. One such example is Cambridge Analytica, which uses Facebook to change audience behavior for political and commercial uses. Deep fakes and attention engines are some other tools which uses AI to play with people's psychology and make them spend more times on social media platforms like YouTube and Facebook. Government also uses these tools to surveil on the citizens. Biggest example is the Cambridge Analytica, which were used by the 2016 presidential election in USA to summon political uprights and other protests. Many other AI also induces discrimination and being discriminated towards the people. For example, there are racist chat box, Twitter autograph, which preview the image in an improper way, and there are many algorithms which discriminate students from their historical data and predicts who are going to be bad students. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Arun?
Ma'am, can I continue?
You are Surya Teja.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you're ready, let's listen.
Ma'am?
Yes, your video.
Good afternoon to one and all. This is V. Suteja from Civil Engineering Department. I am here to speak some few words about success. If we ask anyone whether they want to succeed in their life, the most common answer would be, why not? It's what I deserve. You would hardly find anyone who thinks otherwise. The next question you encounter would be, what is success? How we define it. For some people, success is the achievement of what they dream. So, actually, what is success? Suppose we set a goal of climbing the highest mountain in the world. So, first we start to prepare and do a lot of hard work. Finally, when we reach the top of the mountain, we would be happy, we would cherish the moment. We'd know that we have achieved success. Then we'll start looking around and see if there is even a higher mountain. Then we would set a new goal to climb that higher mountain. At the time, we feel as if we can conquer anything, but we can't just forget the difficult times on the way to the top. The days when and the days when we just wanted to give up and try something easier. So success is not the top, the view you will see from the top of the mountain, but the things you have learned while reaching the mountain, while reaching there. It's the determination, the willpower that you have exhibited that will help you to realize that you can climb the next mountain. So here I conclude that success is not a destination; it's a journey of the things you have learned and experienced. So here I have end my speech. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Surya Teja. Ayon, are you there? Ayon? Jigyas? Jigyas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, can you start?
Ma'am, my topic is Albert Einstein. Should I start?
Yes, start.
Renowned for his theory of relativity, Albert Einstein is one of the most renowned physicists in the world. Born on 14th March 1879, he was born. His family lived in Ulm, Germany at the time of his birth. He found it difficult to, struggling at the early age of his education. He found it difficult to speak fluently, uh, but eventually he set out to revolutionize the world of physics. Moreover, growing up, his fascination with mathematics and physics grew, making him master in calculus. His proficiency in mathematics is so high that his teachers couldn't keep up with him. They gave up on teaching. In 1905, Albert Einstein published research on special theory of relativity, which is considered as one of the two pillars of physics. And then he went to found the formula E is equals to mc square, which is considered by scientists as a stepping stone in modern physics. The atomic bomb dropped in Japan was based on this formula. However, he was against the atomic bomb dropping on Japan throughout his life. He then gave a new theory on relativity, falsifying the relative theory of relativity given by Isaac Newton. Uh, he also proved that time travel is possible. In 1921, he was a recipient of the Nobel Prize in Physics. Uh, mm, on 17 April 1955, he died. He died at the age of 76, leaving his legacy and his contribution to the world, which are still unmatched. I will end my speech. Thank you.
Done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. We will stop with you, Jigyas. So, tomorrow we will start from Dashrath. Okay? And it will continue according to the roll number. Okay? So, thank
Okay,
you,
ma'am.
class.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.